As of lately, I have been asked by a subscriber if I would create a playlist in which I explain famous political and philosophical concepts for the layman. I thought that this was a fantastic idea, and as requested, the first of these videos will explore Ted Kaczynski's claim that technological innovations change society in such a way that their use often becomes mandatory for the majority of people. This point is made very succinctly in passage 127 of his manifesto. As Kaczynski writes, when a new item of technology is introduced as an option that an individual can accept or not as he chooses, it does not necessarily remain optional. In many cases, the new technology changes society in such a way that people eventually find themselves forced to use it. To illustrate this phenomenon, Kaczynski uses the example of the automobile. Before the invention of the car, pedestrians and men on horseback could travel anywhere they desired, at any pace they desired, and without having to obey traffic regulations, like stop signs, speed limits, and legally required auto insurance. When the car was invented, it initially seemed to increase someone's freedom. Anyone who bought an automobile could travel further distances faster than a pedestrian or a man on horseback. It was a luxury to have a car, but it was not necessary for daily life, and a man could just as easily go about his business without having one. According to Kaczynski, this changed as automobiles became numerous, and it became necessary to regulate their use. As he writes, in a car, especially in densely populated areas, one cannot just go anywhere one likes at one's own pace, because one's movement is governed by the flow of traffic and by various traffic laws. One is tied down by various obligations: license requirements, driver test, renewing registration, insurance, maintenance required for safety, and monthly payments on purchase price. Moreover, the use of motorized transport is no longer optional. Since the introduction of motorized transport, the arrangement of our cities has changed in such a way that the majority of people no longer live within walking distance of their place of employment, shopping areas, and recreational opportunities, so that they have to depend on the automobile for transportation, or else they must use public transportation, in which case they have even less control over their own movement than when driving a car. In addition to changing our society so that owning a vehicle is necessary for the majority of people, the advent of the automobile has also robbed pedestrians and horse riders of freedom of travel. In cities, traveling by horse is illegal, and those who walk are relegated to sidewalks and must obey traffic lights. On highways, it is also illegal to travel by horse, and the whizzing cars and trucks make it most dangerous for someone to walk alongside the highway. Thus, Kaczynski concludes that new technologies more often than not limit one's freedom and have become required for practical life over a span of time. Although Kaczynski uses the car as his example to demonstrate this phenomenon, perhaps a scarier prospect which is pertinent to our current day is neural chips and cybernetic enhancement. It is conceivable that within our lifetime, cybernetic chips in the human brain may become a novelty before changing society such that they are required for all practical purposes, just like in cyberpunk dystopian settings. This is not to say that humanity is doomed to such a future, although the conceivability of this prospect is at very least most concerning, and it is something to which Kaczynski would strongly object. This concludes our summary of Ted Kaczynski's famous example of the car. I hope that this analysis has proven useful to those who have not read Industrial Society and Its Future. If this video does well, I will likely continue this series and explore other famous political and philosophical ideas. Do comment below with your request for topics that you'd like to see, and if I feel that they should be examined, then I will be certain to add them to the docket. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.